Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg, which is me. And I don't think I have a tremendous amount to talk about for this episode. It wasn't a very crazy week because most of my time was spent playing this game, Metal Gear Solid 5. So I'm probably going to talk about this a bit. Yeah, I put a ridiculous amount of time into this game, and I'm only 33% through it, which just seems insane. What is more insane than that is the fact that the servers are still not online. So there's no online. It's like day 6 or some shit of this game being out. And yeah, you can't ever get online. That's nice. Not that I, like, if it was like Uncharted or something, it's like, oh, I can't access the multiplayer. It's like, whatever, who cares? But for this, like, you can't access the data or whatever. You're supposed to get something special for having played the prequel, which I did. I bought it and played it. So you can't access that. And then you're supposed to be able to make, like, forward operating bases or some stuff. And you do that so you can send out more units to do missions for you. But you can't do that because there's no online. So yeah, that's really retarded. I don't know what they're doing over there in Japan or whatever, but it's no bueno in my opinion. So yeah, it's other than that though, game is pretty insanely good. It's definitely a very strong contender for my game of the year. I mean, Fallout 4 has not come out yet, and that is probably going to be a good contender. And Bloodborne did come out this year, and that's definitely up there, but man, I have been playing so much of this game. Just any free time, it's just, oh, Metal Gear Solid. And in fact, some of you may have noticed, I did not upload a video for Friday. And that was because Friday, I got off work a little early, and I was like, oh, I got plenty of time then. I'll just play some Metal Gear. And then it was like, oh, I gotta make dinner. Oh, damn, I'll tear myself away from Metal Gear. And it's like, okay, dinner's done. I got plenty of time before we go out. I'm just gonna play a little bit more Metal Gear. And it's like, I guess we didn't go out Friday night, so I'm like, oh, man, I got the whole night. I got plenty of time. I'll play more Metal Gear. And then it's like, oh, it's 3 a.m. Well, I can't record anything. I'll just play a little bit more Metal Gear. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I did do my duty other days. I got some videos out. It was kind of more of the same, and it's kind of a slow process to get through 3 Let's Plays when you only do 1 video for each a week. Which is generally why I don't like to stack things up too much. I don't think Hacknet is that much longer. I could be wrong, but it doesn't seem like it. I'm pretty sure Deus Ex goes on for a little while longer, and then I don't know about Shadowrun, but I would imagine so. So, yeah, it's gonna go on, but there's not really much else for me to be playing, recording. I mean, there's always probably some, like, indie games. But yeah, I don't want to show any missions on camera here, so I'll screw around with other stuff. We'll just go kill some people. Oh, I can't redo side ops? That's ridiculous. And I can't just go to Afghanistan and just run around?
Please select a mission.
Well, I mean, I guess if I can just do like the first mission or something. Sure. That's not too big of spoilers. But anyways, there's not really much for me to do. I mean, I'd like to finish up everything before October, because come October, I'd like to do some more horror games. I have 2 in mind right now for October. One is Until Dawn, which everybody was talking about recently. And then the other one is called Stasis, which I saw on Kotaku, which is like an isometric... It's an isometric horror game, point and click. It's like a point and click horror It looked really cool, so I want to try that. So yeah, I got time before October, I guess. We got a whole month. Worst comes to worst, we'll just kind of speed through some things, and I'll upload maybe more than normal. So anyways, Metal Gear.
See the village straight ahead?
It's
to the right. All right, that's the village.
what? It's just so well made. Like, it's just, everything is just so good. It feels so pleasant to do almost everything in the game. And I'll show you what I'm specifically talking about. But as far as like stealth games go, it's a modern masterpiece, I think. You can go full, like full guns blazing, shotguns, rocket launchers, things like that. And occasionally that might be the better option depending on what your job is. But it encourages you to go stealthy almost every time. And it's kind of a two-part thing, because it encourages you to go stealthy because otherwise you're going to start a bunch of ruckus and, you know, you're going to get shot at, things are going to kind of go to hell, and depending on what the mission is, things might change based on your actions. So you might not be able to rescue a certain prisoner or, you know, something like that. Or you might not be able to hear some dialogue between some officials or something like that. So that's cool. But then also, there's this thing called the Fulton, like, recovery system. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. Because it's probably the most hilarious part of the game. But also one of the most important parts. I shouldn't have picked the first mission because it's such a tutorial thing. So it also encourages you to kind of like go up on a ridge and take out your binoculars and mark everybody. Marking is really important in this game because as you can see here, you get this little thing above them and you can see kind of this image through walls. So if I go behind cover, I can still see them. And that's like, you can go very far away and still know exactly where this guy is. And with your binocular, like if I go here and I kind of look, should do it. There. I can kind of tell which direction he's facing as well, which is very important. So, recon, really cool. Very important. It all just works very well. But if I just walk in front of this guy, I get this reflex mode, slow-mo, and you just feel like such a badass every time you do that. Because, like, you can be, you can ride past on your horse, just like full speed. Like, let me try and do that. You can also order your horse to defecate. We're just kind of, like, there's a lot of elements of this game that are just kind of Japanese and weird and stuff, but it's still a badass game. So if I just ride past this guy, I can just whip out my gun and just, boom. It's just like, damn, that's badass. It just makes you feel so cool because it's all well done. The audio design, everything is just so good. There's... So, like, this is one of the, like, this is the first regular mission, just in Afghanistan. And the game, like, the first major part of it all takes place in Afghanistan during the Soviet-Afghan War. So, it's basically, it's basically like Rambo 3, but good. So yeah, you can kind of just scan the entire village from a certain vantage point, and like I picked the mission where he talks so much about explaining everything. What was I thinking? So this isn't a very good vantage point because I can't really see much. Not that I need to, because I kind of, it's a tutorial mission more or less. I know how to play, and my gear is really good, so we don't. I could just run in there and just snipe everybody. because none of them were wearing helmets or anything like that. And the one thing I like is, like, you'll encounter guards. Well, actually, depending on what tactics you use, the enemies will kind of adapt to you. Because they'll even talk about you. Like, if you listen in on their conversations, they'll actually talk about this guy that just goes around and, like, he's unstoppable and things like that. And he has a horn growing out of his head and things like that. And they'll talk about you. And so they'll actually learn from your tactics a little bit. So if you're like me and you just go around and you just snipe everybody in the head with non-lethal rounds, they'll start wearing helmets. And none of these guys will, of course, but later enemies will. But it's cool because the helmets, it's just a helmet, so it doesn't, like, there are enemies like assault enemies and stuff that have full body armor and things like that, but just regular enemies with regular helmets, it doesn't cover like their full face. Like this guy, like there, he was wearing a helmet, but since I shot him in like the little space of his face, he still got knocked out instantly. So the helmet doesn't cover everything. I really like that. That's a nice touch. So yeah, the first part of the game is basically Rambo 3, but not shit. And like these guys, it's just like, it's nothing. So you see in the lower right there, for my weapon, it has stun listed because it's a riot gun. So it shoots rubber bullets so it doesn't kill them. And then in the lower left of that little box, you have the suppressor. So right now, all I have available to me is the low ranked suppressor. So you can see it, like, mine's about to break. Suppressors are not just permanent, they actually do break.
Those materials are already processed.
And so it's kind of interesting because it's like if your suppressor breaks, like, it really changes your style of how to play, and you really have to account for that. I really want to get a higher ranked suppressor so it lasts longer, but I feel like it might make things almost too easy. Probably not, but yeah. So I also have, this is my assault rifle, and this one's customized. Later on in the game, you unlock customization. So this one has, like, light machine gun magazines or something like that, but it's got the nice scope, the nice dot sight, and it's got the suppressor and all that. And then my custom sniper rifle as well, with the variable zoom. It's all really good. I like that. Okay, the Fulton thing. So if you go to a guy that's unconscious or injured, or you go to a weapon emplacement or a vehicle or an animal that's stunned, you see here you can press triangle and it has like the umbrella thing, and 100% chance. So if I do that, I hook this device up and this balloon picks him up. Yeah. The first time I saw that, I was like, are they freaking serious with this shit? Like, it was just so ridiculous. I was like, there's no way that he's about to just get pulled up into the air. But yeah, they do. They get pulled up into the air. You can watch it again, because it's funny. It really is. And this is a very important part of playing the game. You will do this a lot. You'll do this for everything. You'll go up to vehicles. You don't get to do this right away. You have to upgrade it, but yeah. You just pick up vehicles. Goodbye. And then later on, I can use that vehicle. I could bring it in right now. Well, actually, not right now. I have to leave a little bit, but... And then, so, like, weapon emplacements, I can put them on the base, I guess, on my online base if they ever put that on. Or I can sell them for money. Troops are probably the most important thing that you'll be rescuing. I don't know why I'm just doing this just to show you. Because your troops, or the people that you rescue... Like, they basically get conscripted into your private military force. They have no option.
Analysis complete.
Like, these are Soviet soldiers, but you just force them to work for you. And so you see there, they have like, letters over there for those different symbols. So that's basically what this soldier is good at. So this guy's really good at intel because he's got an A rank for it. And so then they'll kind of get assigned to where they're useful. And so you'll be able to upgrade all your different things. So back on Mother Base. And here's all the staff management. Like, I have way too many people. Like, you can see there, like, almost every category is maxed out. And I have 223 people that are just sitting in the waiting room because they're not really useful enough. Like, I've Fultoned everybody. Like, everybody has just been brought to the base because it doesn't matter. It costs you $300 every time you bring somebody back, but that's nothing. I have 202,867,000 bucks right now. And so you want to do this. You want to upgrade everything and keep bringing in people and doing all that because your R&D team is responsible for getting you all sorts of new stuff. So if you go here to the R&D stuff, you get all the new weapons. These are stuff that I don't really have much interest in buying just because I don't really need it. Although I will get everything at some point, I'm sure. Rocket launchers, light machine guns, sniper rifles, blah, blah, blah. But then they also give you devices like a ballistic shield, a decoy, flare grenades, and you get to upgrade stuff. So I could upgrade my hand grenades, mines, the cardboard boxes, of course, night vision goggles, drugs, my prosthetic arm, new camos, things like that. So the R&D is really important. The combat unit is what you use to send out people on missions, so you can send out combat deployment, and they have a percentage chance to succeed, and this will bring you in more money and sometimes different materials and stuff like that. The base development unit is basically responsible for like automatically harvesting materials for you. So that's kind of useful because materials are like the biggest setback. Like I have plenty of money to upgrade my base probably entirely all the way to the max, but you need a lot of materials. So yeah, that's kind of the materials is where it kind of is slow. The support platform. This is for like bringing in, like you can call in like airstrikes and smoke screens and stuff like that, which is really cool. It reminds me of like Mercenaries or something like that game series. I wish they would bring that back. Intel, they'll tell you about like enemy activity and stuff like that. It's pretty useful, but the dog is better, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And then the medical platform, they heal people that get injured on your base, and they also are responsible for developing new drugs you can use. So it's all pretty useful. You're going to want to keep it all upgraded. Like, it just feels so good. Everything feels so good. Eat hand grenade. So yeah, the game basically consists of the main missions, which is something I'm on right now. So there's a bunch of those, and those kind of develop the story, and they're designed to be a bit more climactic and eventful and things like that. And then there's the side ops, which are just kind of the extra stuff. And so it's like where some games would just have like collectibles and things like that, where you just kind of run around the open world and just grab things. This has the side ops, which are like normally I don't care about any of that shit, but I've been doing every single one. And you can see here if I go to the I don't think I can. Like this is all the side ops I've done so far. And I'm 33% of the way through the game. Like I've done so many, and they pay out money, but they're also just fun. Like they just let you use all your skills, and it's just more gameplay, and it's good. They're not incredibly varied. Like here you can see prisoner extraction. I've done 11. But what's varied is where you do it. Like all the different locations that they take place on. Like you're gonna revisit locations probably multiple times because different things happen at different places, and you might have a mission at a location, and you might have a side ops there. So you'll get familiar with the locations, but just it's very varied, and then the types of enemies that are there and the way they're placed and your objective. It's just it's good. It's very good. Just spying on me. Yeah. It's just like everything is so well designed. It feels so good. It's not a perfect game. There are some things where it's just like, okay. But overall, yeah, it's a modern marvel. There are some things where it's like, okay, I mean, I can understand why it's not included in the game. Like, it just there's limitations. There, you know, things like destructibility. There's not a whole lot of destructibility. I could lob rockets at this wall all day and it just sits there. And it's kind of like, okay, I mean, we kind of have to draw the line at some point. So I understand, but some other things where it's like you probably could have had destructibility, but it isn't. Like small trees I can run into and I can break them down with my vehicle. See there, if you just hit them in the helmet, it knocks it off. If you hit him in the shoulder, they get knocked down. And then now this guy's injured, so I can go over to him and I can extract him. But I have a less chance because he might die in the process. But there you go. So little trees you might be able to destroy with your vehicle. But like this, if I ram into this as hard as I can, it's not going anywhere. Like boxes and stuff like that, they don't budge. That's kind of a bummer, but all right, I'll accept it. If I sneak up on this guy, because there is sneaking involved. I can grab him, and then I can knock him out, choke him out, and kill him with my knife, but I can also ask him questions. So if you tell him to speak, they'll tell you like locations of prisoners or diamond stashes or things like that. And then I can also ask him where his friends are, which will mark any of his other buddies automatically for me, so that's pretty useful. But it usually doesn't work because I already have everything marked anyways, so they usually just say, I got nothing to say. Yeah. So anyways, it's damn good. So I'm gonna go finish this mission, and then we'll talk more about the game after that. Anyways. So yeah, for the week, it's mostly been just the regular kind of thing. I've just been playing a lot of this and recording when I tear myself away occasionally. We did, I think I did board Mangg this week. That was like Monday. I did Mistfall. I know that's not really, I know this channel is not crazy about board games, and it's never going to be the focus of the channel anyways, but especially for something like Mistfall, it's a brand new game, fresh off Kickstarter. People are probably searching for videos of it. I thought it was a decent choice to make a video of, and I thought it turned out well. Like, I was kind of cramped because I was kind of like doing the entire video behind the camera, so I was having to reach and kind of hunch over, but I thought it worked out. And of course the main cast was good. Roll Mangging. So yeah, Roll Mangging. Pretty bad news for the fate of Roll Mangging, I'm afraid. Ziggy is forcing us to cancel this week as well, because he has fantasy football drafts, of all things. So he's having like a party for his fantasy football drafts, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. But like I said in the main cast, where it's like people that have hobbies tend to expand upon those hobbies. So I guess it makes sense. Like people into football are going to find ways to get more into football. And I guess fantasy football is a way to do it. But it's a bummer because it's Sunday night and we're already kind of in a rough patch of roll-manging, of role-playing. So,
Analysis complete.
yeah, I don't really feel comfortable DMing something where it's like, okay, we have 3 people, maybe assuming everything goes perfectly. It's just like, that's not a good climate to go into things. So I don't know what the fate of role playing for us is going to be. Like, it might come down to where we just have to. We either have to just not do it, or we have to go to just strangers, just asking out into the world on the internet. And be like, we want to run something. Does anyone want to join us? Which is not really great, but might be better than nothing. Shit. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm glad that I didn't start my campaign for Shadowrun and like get involved in it, and then it's just like everything falls apart. Shit. And I didn't really put that much work into it. Like, I just kind of came up with the map and did a bunch of reading about it. I didn't like write any sessions or anything like that. So it's not a big deal, especially since I wasn't crazy about having to DM as it was. But it's a bummer either way because I want to do I'd rather do something. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I guess it's just tough in 2015 to get something together. What are you gonna do? I mean, I'll probably still put out the final Shadowrun shopping video that I was planning about cyberware because it is pretty interesting. That's what I was gonna do Friday, but Metal Gear got in the way. But then, yeah, I don't know. I imagine we might be finished with Shadowrun for now. Because Ziggy has no interest in running it.
Clouds approaching.
I don't think I would run it for strangers because I don't know if I feel I would probably pick. I'd rather do something easier than that. Ren was planning to run something in either like Numenera or Star Wars, maybe. Brutal. And Star Wars would be really cool. I mean, Star Wars is definitely one of those things that I want to play at some point in my life. Because I think it would be so damn interesting. I especially want to make Ovum the Jedi. Like, I need to make that happen at some point. So I don't know. It comes down to just having somebody with the confidence to be able to run... to be able to run a game of Star Wars, because you kind of have to know the lore, kind of like Shadowrun. Like, you can't just make up your own thing for Star Wars. Like, we all have our own expectations of how the game plays and what goes on. But it's not like, you know, nobody's just gonna, like, okay, let's play A New Hope. You know, like, you can't just do it based off of the movie. You have to kind of come up with your own adventure. Oh my god, I tripped him with my arm. Get wrecked. This is how not to take out a base, by the way. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I would ever have like the confidence to run a Star Wars game, but I would definitely have the confidence to play in one. So I don't know if Ren will do that. We'll see. It probably will just go to Numenera / the Strange / the Cipher system, whatever the hell he's calling it. I think those are 3 different systems, but they're all the same. So, and that'll be cool. It depends on kind of what we do. I'd also like to play something in Fate again. I would like to give it another chance, but honestly, I don't think we can ever actually have like a serious campaign going. I think it might just be impossible. We're stuck to kind of 1 or 2 shots, maybe 3 shots if we're lucky. And that's a bummer. Ziggy's planning his Call of Cthulhu campaign. Personally, I don't know if that'll ever happen. I think it takes a lot of work. It just takes a lot of work to write a Shadowrun campaign. Especially one of any length. So it might be like a Call of Cthulhu 2-shot or something, but not a campaign. Can I ask this guy? Oh, you can also hold people up. If I come up behind them and hold up my gun, they'll put down theirs and they'll put their hands up. And then I can also ask them questions. And then you can tell them to get down, and they'll go down on their stomach. And what's most surprising about this is they'll never get back up. Like, it's basically like they're stunned. It's funny. And then I can also do this to them while they're conscious. And that's funny. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I would love to be a part of like a thing where it's just like a 2-year-long campaign or something like that. I mean, I would probably, I don't think I would have the same character the whole time, but it would be cool. Nice shot. It is what it is. So yeah, so don't expect roll magging this week. Maybe next week if we sort it out. I mean, I think I've asked this channel enough if anyone's interested in playing at this point. But I'll ask again if anyone wants to play pretty much anything. We'll play anything. Somebody will DM it. Anyways, I don't know where the prisoner is. I have no idea where he is. So for board games, I would have probably played some more Mistfall by myself this week, but I got Metal Gear, and then so that happened, and yeah, nothing else happened. Thursday, no, not Thursday, Friday, no, Wednesday. That's what it was. Wednesday we had a board game night, which hopefully will become a regular thing as we go into the winter months. That would be very good. And so we played Age of Discovery, or Age of Empires, Age of Discovery. It's kind of why I mentioned it during the Mangg cast, is because we just played it. So this is the game that came out with Age of Empires 3. Oh my god. I just Spartan kicked him off. That was badass. Anyways, so yeah, it's an Age of Empires board game, but I mean it doesn't play anything like Age of Empires. It's a worker placement game, and it's a damn fine one at that. So Ziggy had gotten into the new Kickstarter that they had launched for the re-release of this game. And so he spent like $110 on it, something. So it was a really big production, and the box is like it's a smaller Cthulhu Wars box. It's pretty gigantic. There's a lot of pieces. And it's pretty interesting because it's a worker placement game, but there's a lot of confrontation in it. Actually, it actually feels pretty American, which makes it's an American game, so it makes sense. But there's a lot of confrontation. Like you can get soldiers that will kill other people in the area, and it's kind of like a worker placement game mixed with an area control game. So we all enjoyed it quite a bit. I won. I was playing as I had black pieces, and I picked the French board, even though we weren't playing with the powers. So I basically played like I was the French version of Big Bo. Grand Bo. And I won, and it was pretty badass. Because I don't really know what I did differently. But there was like a clutch move that I did. Well, basically I owned New France immediately. Like, that was my goal of the game. Was all I care about is just having New France. And I did. But then later on, very late in the game, I did okay throughout the whole game, but late in the game, I managed to purchase a tile, basically a building, a power, whatever, that let me steal 2 discovery cards from other people. And these were basically just were victory points. So I got to steal 2 victory point cards from other people. And the power was called Rewrite History. So it was very funny to me. Just Big Bo comes in, he's like, nah, it didn't go down like that shit. I'm gonna rewrite this. And so it's like, I discovered Peru. Me and me alone. And that ended up getting me a ridiculous amount of victory points, and so I clutched the win. It was pretty good. Yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game. I would play it again. I mean, I think probably as far as worker placement games go, it's pretty far up there. But I think there are better area control games. So, as far as combining them, it's pretty well done. I don't think it would go in my top 10 or anything, but we're probably going to play it again this coming Wednesday. So, yeah, it's good. And I won, and that's always good. Yeah, so then Friday, oh man, Friday we didn't do anything. Saturday we went to Binary, and we played, there's 4 of us, and we played 7 Wonders, which we haven't played in a while. And it made me actually kind of a little sad, maybe upset, I'm not sure. Because we played 7 Wonders there. My copy of 7 Wonders at home has 2 of, like, the 3 expansions that we've never played with. And I even bought, like, the broken token organizer for it. It's, like, nice pine wood or something like that, and organizes all the tokens. So it's like, I have somewhat of a tricked-out copy with expansions that I bought we've never played with, because I got it all during when we were just in a 7 Wonders, not frenzy, but we were playing it a bunch. And then after that, it just kind of dropped off. But now we're playing it at Binary with, like, this peasant copy. No expansions, no nothing. And the cards are just being touched by all these other strangers. And so, yeah, maybe a little upset, because it's like, oh, man, now we're never going to play this again. Because we just played it here. Why can I not find where this guy is? Anyways. Then, I think we played like 2 rounds of Jungle Speed. Because why not? Then today for board game day we played Kemet, because there was 4 of us and we didn't have a great deal of time, so we wrapped up a game of Kemet with the new little mini expansion I picked up, where you combine the characters, the monsters from Cyclades into Kemet, and the monsters from Kemet into Cyclades, which is really clever. It's clever from both like a gameplay standard and also from like a marketing standpoint, because it's like, oh, look at that, you can buy this expansion for your game of Kemet. But, you know, you might as well buy the thing from Cyclades. It kind of doesn't force you to own both, but it definitely incentivizes you to own both. Fortunately, I do. So it's pretty good. And I didn't win the game of Kemet, but I came damn close. It really, what it came down to is probably my first real... Probably not my first, but it was definitely a very blatant example of king making. And king making is where a player basically has the choice of deciding who wins the game other than himself. Like, it's where a player who's not going to win, he has basically no chance of winning, and he gets to decide who gets to win among 2 or maybe 3 other people. And so it made me kind of upset because I was part of that, and I was not chosen. And that probably made me kind of upset, but I guess I yelled at the guy for kingmaking, but it was really more I was upset with the game, I guess, for putting us into that position. But probably I was more just upset with myself that I didn't play as well as I could have. Because it came down between me and Studs. I had the game pretty much on lock. I didn't know how far ahead he was. Like, I didn't know how well he was playing. He was doing all right. I was surprised. And, yeah, like, I thought I had the game on lock, pretty much. But then, like, all 3 of them were like, oh, he's gonna win, you gotta kill him. And so, I got killed. I got attacked, and I lost, like, 1 victory point. And that let Studs kind of just swoop in and win. And so, yeah, it came down to kingmaking, although he didn't really realize what he was doing. And even if he did, it's like, what is he gonna do? Like, he's not just gonna sit there and be like, oh, well, I guess you win. You know, I understood it's like he's not going to do nothing, but really, by doing nothing, he was making a decision about who wins, and by attacking me, he was making a decision on who wins. And neither one included him winning, so, yeah, it was unfortunate it came down to that, but it's alright. I was close enough. I did successfully defend against his beetle initiative bullshit that happened last time. There he is. Jesus. Because he got that same combo. He got the beetle and the kill 2 troops automatically when he attacks. And I went like full defense, and he attacked me, and I still managed to defend him off. And so in my opinion, I basically won the game. So yeah, it was good. We're gonna play some more Kemet. I rate it fairly highly. Again, I'd like to play Cyclades some more, see how that compares. Compared to Cthulhu Wars, man, I don't know. They're pretty close. Cthulhu Wars is longer, I think. Kemet, that game of Kemet was over very quick. Like, it was 3 or 4 rounds. It was very quick. And so your strategy has to be pretty tight with what you're planning on doing. If you're just kind of reacting to things, just like, oh, I don't know, we'll see what happens, it's like, that's going to be rough. You kind of have to have a plan. I mean, you have to be able to adjust, but it's quick. It's a quick game, you're not going to be able to do much. Cthulhu Wars, I think you get a bit more time to kind of, I mean, yeah, it's going to take probably more than 3 rounds or so, 3 or 4 rounds in Cthulhu Wars. And also the rounds are pretty much longer. So it's hard to say. I mean, I probably still lean towards Cthulhu Wars. Again, because I like the theme. But they're pretty close. We still have to try Chaos in the Old World, which I very much want to. Because it's well lauded. But I would also like to play Blood Rage, which is Eric Lang's new game, which is kind of like in a fantasy Viking universe.
Boss, whatever that mist is, it's all around you. We can't see through it.
Like it's Viking-esque, but there's like
Get over there. The chopper will be waiting.
like Yggdrasil is involved, and there's like the great serpents and trolls and things like that are involved, so it's kind of fantasy-esque. And from what I can tell, I watched Dice Tower live play it. It seems like something like Kemet, but also mixed with something like Seven Wonders, because there's like a drafting phase where you're drafting like your powers for the round and things like that, so you know what other people might have and The drafting thing is really a good mechanic. It's why Seven Wonders is so popular. So I would definitely like to play that, but I don't know if I want to buy it. I mean, that's expensive. I actually haven't seen this cinematic.
Run, boss. You've got to lose him.
I guess I could explain what's happening on screen.
This is no time to fight, boss. Those
Bullshit.
things are human, and you've got Miller to worry about on top of that. Just what the hell are
These guys, yeah. Oh, that's the other thing about Metal Gear. Like, when you start playing, if you start playing the game, like, it seems like very much just like Splinter Cell, stealth espionage, you know, 1984, just okay, you know, it seems so grounded. But then it's like during the intro, there's like psychic floating kids and fire demons, and then you play and you're like, okay, it's weird. But then you start playing the game, it's like, okay, I'm sneaking into this base, I'm doing stealthy shit, I'm sniping fools, blah blah blah. And then this happened, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot. There's weird shit going on. You just have these weird like demon people that shoot guns and throw giant rocks at you and stuff. Could have sworn I didn't kill the fourth guy, but anyways. Yeah, so there's occasionally things that just like take you out of the serious groundedness of it. Where it's like, oh yeah, I'm playing this weird Japanese game, I forgot.
They'll catch up to you on foot. Use your horse.
There he is. Oh. So yeah, you're gonna encounter those skulls groups a few times. I think every time you encounter them, you don't have to destroy them. Maybe the second time you do, I'm not sure. But every time I've encountered them, except this first time, I've killed them. Because the first time you encounter them right here, like Ocelot makes it sound like they're just like godly, and if they'll just one-shot you or something like that. So I just snuck around them, but now it's like whatever. So yeah, they're pretty easy. They get progressively harder. The last time I met them, I had to use like a tank, and then they blew up the tank, and then I had to unload like all of my rocket launchers all over them, and I barely survived. It was pretty crazy. And the whole game is pretty crazy. Like, there are so many things where you get through with like a section or like an area or something, and it's just like, my God, I'll never forget that, what I just did. Like, it's so badass, and it's just so organic and spontaneous. Like, none of the game really... Like, there are things that the game kind of plans and, like you're meant to do that are kind of cool, but most of the stuff, it's just very free form. And I think that is just brilliant game design, where it's just kind of, it's sandbox, you know, where they'll give you an objective, and they give you all sorts of different tools and weapons and things like that, and it's just, it comes down to problem solving. I think that's why I like it so much. It comes down to problem solving, just like D&D and stuff like that, where it's like, they give you the problem, they give you the tools, solve it, and it's always awesome. I haven't really been frustrated like once throughout this whole game so far. Anyways, so yeah, Blood Rage sounds pretty cool. I don't know, I'm gonna have to see what other people say about it, see how hyped it gets. I don't know if I need another area control game, but after watching the live play from the Dice Tower, Blood Rage does look pretty damn cool. I don't know, maybe around Christmas, we'll see. Because there are other area control games that I want to get as well, but there are a lot of games I still want to get, but nothing urgent at this point. And then we finished with like some Jungle Speed, and then 3 of us played Dead Drop some more, which is, it's all right for a filler game. I'm not a really filler game kind of guy, but it was all right. And yeah, that's that. Thursday we went to Applebee's, but it was nothing exciting. Really nothing to talk about, unfortunately. Jeff was there. He was mean mugging us. I saw him. He was definitely mean mugging. But none of us were really hungry enough to get sliders. So, I mean, that's kind of what it comes down. Sometimes there's just, you know, it's a Cold War sometimes, man. Soon enough, I'm sure something will spark. What else? Yeah, like I said, Friday we didn't do anything, and I was actually kind of glad that we weren't going out. They asked to go to a bar, and I was like, I mean, I guess I would go, but nobody else said anything, so I was like, I guess we're not going. More Metal Gear. And then last night we went to Binary. There's some scary people there, man. There are just some freaks and geeks. Some may say. Yeah. Like, there was just, like, this guy at the bar. This guy, like, if I say the words Dungeon Master, whoever you're picturing is that guy at that bar. That's who he was. If that guy's never Dungeon Mastered in his life, I don't know what to believe anymore. But he was sitting there by himself, and he was, like, double fisting Budweisers. It was very strange. Yeah, pretty much that. So, yeah, not an exciting week. Metal Gear. That's why I've been talking about Metal Gear. It's all Metal Gear. And I'm not even, like, the biggest Metal Gear fan. Like, I wasn't blown away by, whatever the prequel was called to this. Ghost or whatever it was. I didn't like Metal Gear Solid 4 really at all, because there was way too many damn cinematics. I did like 3 quite a bit. I should replay that someday. But I never played any other Metal Gear Solid. It just kind of was before my time. Not really before my time, but I didn't play them. So this one, yeah, just everything comes together. But there's actually, like, probably my biggest complaint about this game is Solid Snake, or Venom Snake, or whatever he's being called. Snake. Because he's voiced by Kiefer Sutherland. And I really do like that. Like, I love Kiefer Sutherland. I'm a huge 24 fan, so he pretty much is. I'm playing as Jack Bauer, pretty much. Like, that's what it is. This is Jack Bauer during the Soviet-Afghan War. This is what he did. It's basically what's going on. So I like that. But what I feel is they couldn't get him to perform as many lines as he should. Many cinematics involving Snake, he's completely silent. Like, he just, like, he'll do his look, he'll look around and stuff like that, and he'll give expressions, but he says nothing. And so, you don't get to hear Kiefer Sutherland that much during the course of the game. Like, he has lines, of course, but cinematics, it's sparse. Some cinematics, he won't say anything. There are cassettes. And I think some of these cassettes involve his voice. I want to say it's the one that have, like, the yellow text have Snake talking, but I'm not sure exactly.
Sorry to keep you waiting. We finally finished analyzing that yellow cake cipher was moving. There was nothing unusual about the composition of the yellow cake itself. Most of it was oxidized uranium. What's interesting, when we checked it, it was clear the meaning they went.
I don't actually know. The yellow might just be important to missions.
That is evidence of uranium in, after all.
I don't know.
But uranium existed in, and there's another uranium. The first place.
Like, most of these are pretty much just other characters talking.
But how would that fit? We need more.
Yeah, so I don't think the yellow has anything to do with it. I think it's just like some of them have him talking a little bit, but not much. He really just does not say much. He'll talk. You get to hear him when you interrogate an enemy, or when you're issuing a command to, like, your buddy out in the field or something like that. But He does not talk nearly as much as you think he should, and I feel like if they had the old guy, David Hayter, if they had him doing the voice still, he would be talking all the time. Like, he would just be, he would be the main character, talking a bunch. And they don't have any of, like, the phone calls or the codecs or whatever during missions and things like that. You just have the NPCs, like, you have Ocelot and Miller and stuff talking to you, but you never respond, almost ever. So it just seems really strange. Like, it just seems like he's so silent. And this game is like a prequel to most of the other games where he talks a whole bunch. So it's just like he's going through just a angsty quiet phase. It's really strange, and it's kind of annoying. Whereas you'll just be watching a cinematic and he's just kind of like looking around. It's just like, say something! So yeah, that's a bummer, I think. So I like that they got Kiefer, and I think he's good, but yeah, I almost maybe wish they hadn't gone with him because he just doesn't talk enough. So last thing I want to show you, if we go into just a random mission, if you go to Buddy, so you go to Buddy, and you have different buddies that can go into the field. So you've seen the horse, you just ride the horse. You have Quiet, who is, I mean, you've probably already seen her. She comes in, yeah, there she is. Boobs and all, and you can customize kind of her weapon, whether it's stun or not. And you can pick her uniform. I only have her naked gear, as it's called. And I haven't really played around with her too much. I'll tell you why. There's also the D-Walker, which is like a little robot suit. I haven't actually used this at all. Again, for similar reasons to Quiet. And those reasons are because of the best buddy in the game, Dee. Hell yes. I don't even like dogs that much. Like, I'm not crazy about dogs, but my god, this is so badass. And you can customize Dee, so you can change her fur color, and you can change, like, her, if she's wearing, like, 'cause she actually only has one eye, which is funny. So you can actually have her have an eye patch, or, like, right now I put an artificial eye in her, so she looks like she has two eyes. And then you can change her equipment. So right now she has like her sneaking and knife gear equipped. You can take that off if you want, which is pretty cool, but yes. Later on I'll be able to get it so she has like a stun knife, so she'll be able to stun enemies on command. But like, if you see in the upper right under her name, that's my bond level with her. Because ever since I've gotten Dee, that's all I've used. I used Quiet once just to see it, but no, Dee is the best. Because Dee automatically marks every enemy within like 100 meters from you. And automatically marks prisoners as well. Just instant. So I rarely have to use my binoculars because I can just walk into an outpost and everything is automatically marked. It's so useful. So I tried switching to Quiet for a mission. And I guess you can send her into an outpost. To like market and stuff like that, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem as cool. Like, I don't like working with another person, and Snake doesn't talk and Quiet doesn't talk at all, and it's just kind of weird. Dee is just like, it's a dog and it's badass. It's so cool, and she'll like get in the vehicle with you. I have to show you her getting in the vehicle just to do it. It'll take a little bit of time, but we're gonna do it. Yeah, so dog, man. It's so badass. I mean, and yeah, I can respect the fact that it's a dog and not a cat, because if it was a cat ally, it wouldn't do anything. It would just kind of like sit in your vehicle and just like chew on the seat or something. It wouldn't care about anything. But the dog, man, it's so badass. And you actually like rescue the dog yourself from the Afghan wilds. You rescue it and you bring it back to base, and Ocelot like trains it for you, and then finally you're able to take it out into the field. So bad. Look at this dog. Ah! That's not its original fur color. I changed it because I thought it looked cooler. And it's just it's so ridiculous. Some of the things with the dog are just ridiculous, but it's like, who cares? It's a video game. It's awesome. See? Boom. Look at this dog. And so yeah, you can tell it to kill enemies because it has a knife. I don't really do that because I don't kill many people usually. And if I do kill people, it's because I'm in a hurry. So there, she just gets in the car and just lays there. And I can drive recklessly because she's got an iron grip on that chair.
Map has been updated.
So if I just drive through here, yeah, you'll hear her kind of bark. That's her marking enemies. So boom, like I just drove near here and already every enemy is just automatically marked. Like it's just so good. I'm sure you want to see her kill somebody though. That was a mistake. Okay, I'll try to kill this last guy with Dee Dee. Wherever she is. Oh, there she goes. Yeah, just jumps on his face and like rips out his throat. And then she howls, it's so badass! Alright, I think that's all I need to show for Metal Gear. If this don't convince you to get it, I don't know what will. It's a bummer that online doesn't work, but I'm sure they'll sort it out eventually while I'm still playing the game. Because again, I'm only 33% of the way through. So much more to play. It's probably what I'm going to be doing the whole week, except for when I have to record. Anyways. Yeah. So my name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. I'll see you fine folks next week.